Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the daily guided global meditation call for Saturday, March 11th, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, 2023. The wind cannot shake a mountain. Neither praise nor blame moves the wise man. The Enlightened One, the Buddha. Dhammapada. One of the greatest experiences a human being can have is the feeling of unbounded freedom. Being radically wild and ridiculously free means there's nothing holding you back anymore. You are fully self-expressed, letting it all hang out, exploring every dimension, direction, and quality of your being. Those good and bad judgments from your mind and others no longer have any weight or meaning. You simply become a fully authentic individual who is total in your creative expression and who has stopped allowing the mind to dictate your experience of life in any way. You know you are completely free when you start feeling like a child again, unpretentious, uninhibited, full of curiosity, spontaneous laughter, playfulness, innocence, and totally unguarded. You feel safe and protected in each moment, at the same time knowing this life is the greatest adventure of them all. The inner child in you is always having fun, is in a continuous exploration of this life, and learning from every little experience this world has to offer. You are radically free when you can dive down and explore the deepest, darkest trenches of your past and climb to the highest peak in consciousness you can fathom. It doesn't matter where you go. It's the freedom that is important in this adventure. The freedom. Choose the experience you want to have and immerse yourself in it fully. Stay close to anything that makes you glad you're alive, Hafiz. Stay close to anything that makes you glad you're alive. When this freedom is ignited in our lives, it becomes a natural daily occurrence to let our hair down, be wild, laugh ferociously, out loud in public, rip our clothes off to dance naked with the sunset. By getting in touch with this wild, childlike ridiculousness inside, we stretch our imaginations, what's possible in our lives, realize we can do anything that we set our heart on doing. Radical freedom is not an easy task by any means. It requires our total being to give ourselves to it. This means total devotion, total surrender, totally giving of yourself to it. There is nothing that we are more passionate about in this life than it. It is this level of our totality that leads us to reveal one of the greatest secrets to becoming the master of manifesting our destiny. On this great inner journey towards absolute freedom, it's good to know about the three types of freedom you'll discover. First two freedoms are created from something or for something. They are both dependent on things or thoughts outside of us to manifest. And an inner state of freedom on the inside. These fleeting, freeing feelings are obtained by an efforting approach and not organically revealed. The first we find from escaping some form of prison, either emotional, mental, or physical. The second freedom we will find from reaching for an end result or achieving some desired goal. Both of these freedoms will come and go like the weather. They are limited, time-bound experiences and not what real freedom is truly about. There are no mistakes anywhere at any time. What appears to be wrong is simply our own false imagination. Robert Adams. The only thing that is real in this universe is that which does not change. The only thing that is real in this universe is that which does not change. This is the third type of freedom, which has no outer cause from which it manifests. The only cause from which this freedom blossoms is the pure heart of devotion to the divine being we truly are, and an inherent recognition that we are an infinite, sacred, unyielding spiritual presence that is beyond form and formlessness. The moment we surrender to the source of this infinite creative energy inside of us is when this real freedom is found. You are exactly where you need to be. That's a mantra that you can repeat constantly if you choose. You could say, I am exactly where I need to be. When we realize our true nature is infinite, that which has no cause, no beginning, and no end, we feel as if we can never be stopped, blocked, or contained. This is the day when something very radical and magical happens inside of us. We find it pointless to continue trying to pursue the first two freedoms when we have found this real freedom, that which cannot be matched or compared to on any level. We let go of the fake freedoms, arid, simply rest in the real one. You free fall into the immaculate essence of your being, the central truth of what and who you really are. And this experience is so exquisite and instantly healing. Best of all, it is always available for us to experience at any time. This absolute real freedom is not created by any thought that we can think. Thus, it can never be destroyed. It is found inside our spiritual nature, the deepest place inside, which is always at ease, deeply quiet, relaxed, and surrendered to what is. The spiritual essence of your being is radical. It is open to all experiences in this life. It's willing to explore anything and everything. And this is something that does not change. This eternal blank canvas of your being is always here, unguarded, always available for us to experience at any time. The first two freedoms can only create more desire and yearning for more freedom. So I invite you to explore them as long as you need to until you are exhausted. Then devote your time to exploring the third freedom, which is permanent and everlasting. The third freedom is only found in relaxing with what is. Having a profound acceptance of this life simply opens us up to the multidimensional, all-powerful being that we already are. The one who seeks God unwittingly seeks oneself. When God is found, oneself is found. The one who seeks God unwittingly seeks oneself. When God is found, oneself is found. Very true. From this enlightened state, we realize how easy it is to manifest anything that we desire. The more we surrender the vain efforts of our egos, the further we will naturally fly beyond the judgmental, analytical, critical, limiting mind. When we are free, we have relaxed deeper than the mind and are choosing to rest in the source of no mind, which is bliss. Practice being relaxed as often as you can all throughout the day. Practice being relaxed as often as you can all throughout the day. Become relaxed about everything happening in your life now. And whatever happened in your past, with enough digging inside, you'll reach a deep wellspring of peace. The sweet calming quality is how you know you've discovered it. Every human being has the possibility of becoming enlightened. Everyone has the option to experience the third level of freedom at any time along their life's journey. They simply have to want it more than anything else. If you want this, you will need to overcome the distractions and obstacles of your mind. Those ideas, compulsions, desires, which pull you in every direction except toward this final freedom. Once you step back from the mind, you unlock the door to going beyond every limiting thought you've ever had. The mind is the energetic prison that holds us back from absolute freedom. And when we can step back from it, all of our problems instantly dissolve. The day true freedom becomes the ultimate priority of our lives is when this magical manifesting mindset will be downloaded, installed, and set as the new enlightening software in our brains. We will start seeing our world very, very, very differently. We will be realizing that anything is possible, and we are not limited by anything at all except our imaginations. We will know, without a doubt, that whatever we focus on is what grows and manifests in our lives. We will see that once we start dwelling on thoughts of limitation, we begin manifesting more limiting experiences and obstacles in our paths. When I let go of who I am, I become what I might be. Lao Tzu. Rather than us spending lifetimes trying to find ourselves out there in the material physical world, which we know is not real because it's always changing. We just seem to, we don't pay attention about the subject of who am I? And the exploration of that is one of the most powerful, life-transforming questions we can sit with. It is infinitely deep, always changing, say, and takes us on an inner journey that will provide spiritual sustenance throughout our entire lives. The question is revealing and deceiving at the same time, because it has no solid, real answer to it. We think we have found the answer one week, and then something new happens where we must admit there is yet another part of ourselves we didn't previously see. The path of self-inquiry is endless, mysterious, and is a method to find true meaning, healing, and freedom in this life. We are all seeking some form of liberation in this world because we have created a prison around ourselves to break free from. The prison is all in the mind. Once we understand that the walls of our inner jail are made of belief systems and thought structures, we can dig our way out. The seemingly solid bars around us are ephemeral, mental, emotional, patterns that define who we are and what we are not. The good news is that these personal beliefs formed about ourselves are highly malleable and will change when we are willing to see them for what they are. Our beliefs are powerful. They extend an imposed version of reality out into the world, forming an imaginary construct upon the blank canvas of this universe, molding all the intelligent, creative energy that surrounds us and is then reflected back to us. The reality we see each day shows up in type of emotional sunglasses we are wearing. Our personal belief systems create a certain filter, giving life a specific texture, shade, and continuity to color how we see everything in our world, as well as the end of the day experience of who we are. To unravel oneself is one of the most amazing explorations we can have in this life. It's a process of perceiving, accepting, honoring, and releasing each belief we hold about ourselves to be true and not so true. If and when we stop to think about what beliefs we have about ourselves, we might start wondering, where did this belief about myself come from? How does it happen that we start defining who we are and who we are not? Why do we believe these thoughts about ourselves, even if they're not serving us and enslaving us? These are questions I invite everyone to sit with and see where they lead you. And remember, it's a perpetual unwrapping of the infinite mystery, and the answers are not as important as to what the question awakens within our consciousness. To perpetually drop into the root of one's core source of consciousness is the final goal of this journey. It's not a one-time shot, yet a continual and eternal falling and rising into the ecstasy of our being. Our souls are always here, awaiting for us to accept their presence at the core of us. It is ready to receive you, love you, serve you, and create the most miraculous manifestations for you. Simply surrendering to your core experience of yourself for even 5 long, deep breaths can be enough to tap into it. This soul-touching experience allows all our best traits and love to shine forth upon the lives of everyone around us all day long. The normal self is the mind. The mind is with limitations, but pure consciousness is beyond limitations and is reached by investigation into the I, Ramana Maharishi. Initially, intentionally discovering the source of our being is not always an easy task, as the ego is very strong. The prison walls of the mind are thick and doesn't believe we always have access to an infinite source of bliss all the time. The ego becomes very embarrassed, ashamed, and feels stupid for missing this, and thus feels that there must be some massive mountain to climb and overcome to reach heaven here, now. Yet, the more we struggle and let the mind run the show, the stronger and more real the ego and its fabricated system of beliefs becomes. We must dig deeper inside to find the real path to freedom, which is super magical, amazingly powerful, and able to walk right through these prison walls. All the beliefs of the mind must be pierced all the way through. If we are ever to find liberation from its imposing structure, we must choose to see and experience each specific belief for what it is, merge with it, and dissolve into it until there is nothing left of the belief or ourselves. When it comes down to it, the experience of finding freedom from the ego is actually quite simple. It's all about opening up to the most relaxed and non-efforting approach to this life we can imagine. We must surrender all efforting if we truly want to arrive. It is only through trusting in this deep, sweet let go what we find, that we find the timeless, spacious, vastly deep connection with the divine. When we finally give up our inner battle, we realize how futile all of our past efforts have been, and what little power our belief system actually has over us. When we discover how deeply cherished and lovable we truly are, we stop being consumed with the outer and fall into the infinite mystery of the inner. This is the only place where absolute freedom can be discovered. It is found that how we judge, label, and define others says a lot about ourselves than about them. Our labels darken our sunglasses, blocking the full spectrum of colors from the divine to shine through and touch our souls. When we start digging into our own belief systems this week to see what's there, just notice how attached you are to them. They are the most powerful and personal things in this universe. They form every aspect of reality that you believe is true. Approach them with this awareness, and you can only find freedom from them along the way. Everything that irritates us about others can lead to a better understanding of ourselves. Carl Jung. Now, there's another assignment I'd like you to take on, is to see where your beliefs came from. Notice what age-specific beliefs formed for you and how they were handed down from other people around you. All of our thoughts about ourselves come from the outer world in this lifetime or another. Who we are at the very core are pure innocence itself, free from all labels and beliefs entirely. We were simply covered up like a light bulb caked in mud by the beliefs of others imposed upon us. This realization is our innocent light nature is essential on the path to total freedom. The innocence is more personally intimate than any belief we will ever be. And thus is why our entire lives are wrapped up in unraveling who we really are. The next step towards transcending one's belief system is understanding that they are not the enemy or something we need to get rid of. It is our resistance and need to control them which is the real enemy. Life becomes a more rich, juicy experience because we are wearing so many pairs of sunglasses and having to release so many layers of mud about who we are and what this world is about. If and when we never formed a belief at all, we would only see the divine throughout the entire life's journey. And there would be no exiting or exciting purpose or deeper mission for coming to visit Earth. And that's what we're doing. We are visiting Earth. Our beliefs give us something to grind upon and push against, giving us direction, motivation, desire, and a sense of separateness from the source. This is essential so that one day we can dissolve through them, feel a sense of freedom, and return home. It is a fantastical journey, an outrageously creative invention of a use of time, mind, and the energy of a soul. Now here's a 3-step magic formula to find freedom from your belief system in this lifetime. And it is a simple 3-step process. Step 1, write down all your major core beliefs about yourself, others, your life, and this world. This step is so that you clarify them and see what they actually are. Once you can see them, you can embrace them so they're not just floating around the neuronal soup and the synapses of your brain. Step 2, Realize that you created these beliefs. Take responsibility for each one. Seeing perhaps who you stole it from, who shoved it down your brain, and why you eventually decided to adopt it. The key to this step is taking ownership without any sense of judgment of it being right or wrong. It is simply a belief, a thought structure that was formed about reality. And step 3, have an experience of believing in the belief, and then explore what it feels like to let it go. This release is the final step towards complete and total liberation, and ultimately requires no action at all. It simply happens on its own accord when we drop into the infinite source of our awareness, pure consciousness itself. When we remain superconscious and aware while embracing this old precious belief experience, emerging happens, liberates us from this illusionary prison forever. Which is the real power? Is it to increase prosperity or bring about peace? That which results in peace is the highest perfection. Sri Raman Maharishi. If and when you have trouble identifying your core beliefs, remember that they are highly emotional and deeper than having subtle preferences about life. They are statements that say that this is the way life is, and belief will crack our very foundation if shaken. If all we had were preferences about ourselves and life, it would be a much easier and more enjoyable ride. Yet the ego wants safety, security, and thus creates a firm, rigid structure about who we are and who we are not. These ideas create difficulty and an extra feeling of challenge in our relationships with work, money, intimate relationships, lifestyles, sex, physique, health, food, etc. The list goes on forever. Wherever we are challenged in this life, we have a rigid belief holding us down. The ideas we have about ourselves have been there a very long time. They may not budge very easily if we try to uproot them. This is the good news. The bad news, all at once. The trick here is to take ownership of the belief that is creating the problem. Declare full responsibility for it. And then completely release all identification with it. That's the trick. Take ownership of the belief. By taking ownership of the belief that is creating the problem, declare full responsibility for it, and then completely release all identification with it. The greater the freedom we experience, the deeper the challenge must be. When we see that we created every aspect of our identity and are no longer a victim on any level, we become empowered to become undefinable beings, a soul who is multidimensional and constantly playing in the creativity of reality, however we wish it to be, because we create our own reality. So for this week, a suggestion is to approach this exploration of unraveling yourself in the most gentle, patient, and unconventional way. Don't try to fix anything you find. If you think something is broken, You're simply not seeing the gift or the strength it's creating deeper within you. The tendency is for the mind to replace every negative self-esteem with a positive self-esteem. That would be an unending, tiresome, slippery hill to climb. Because how the ego would like to be will never, ever be good enough. There is no use removing doubts one by one. If we clear one doubt, another doubt will arise, and there will be no end of doubts. But if by seeking the doubter is found to be really non-existent, then all doubts will cease. Ramana Maharishi. There is no use removing doubts one by one. We all have doubts, right? If we clear one doubt, which we've done, another doubt will arise, and then there will be no end of doubts. But if by seeking the doubter is found to be really non-existent, then all doubts will cease. And to know that we all are super powerful manifesting beings. We create everything. We create everything in front of us, around us, above us, below us, behind us. Now, then the question arises, well then why, if we're this powerful beings, why haven't I been able to manifest what I wanted? Or people will ask these questions. Well, the light question is, we just have a bit of amnesia. We literally have forgotten how amazing and how incredible and how brilliant, special, and extremely powerful we all truly are. There is this mass hypnosis going on all around us, where all our friends and family have also forgotten their super manifesting power, magnetic abilities. The hypnosis is so deep, they may not even know they are pretending to be normal like everyone else just to fit in with the rest of humanity. To step out and dehypnotize oneself from this comfortable sheep-like mentality and step into your divine greatness, you must make a radical shift, which may feel like risking everything you have and who everyone thinks you are. Radical transformation requires radical risk. If you want to play small, think small, take small risks, you will tend to manifest small results. If you want to live large, be financially abundant and free, you must choose to accept there are no boundaries to what you can manifest. Once you're ready to take this big risk, write down a commitment to yourself that you are going to become permanently financially free. In the next 5 to 10 years, or in the next 5 to 10 days, or weeks, or months, write down the date. And what amazing, creative, miraculous thing happened during this time. And you will feel the switch turn on. The commitment is best made now, not tomorrow, not next week. You want to jump on the opportunity while the momentum is happening now. Do you know that some of us are afraid to be enthusiastic about things? We hold it back. The decision to become financially free is a great gamble. that may perhaps be the most dangerous one of all. It has nothing to do with the outer world and everything to do with the inner. The risk is radical, and that you must give up all preconceived notions and ideas you have about your financial habits, beliefs, and feelings to step into a much larger financial picture of yourself that's teeming with a plethora of possibilities. We must choose to realize just how amazing, powerful, and unstoppable we all actually are. This takes courage and a willingness to let go of the old you. Life is full and overflowing with the new, but it's necessary to empty out the old to make room for the new to enter. Eileen Caddy. It's like when you get in this comfort zone rut, right? Everybody gets there sooner or later. Now, there's a part of you that says, I've got to just take a leap of faith, a risk, a big one. Shift everything of where I currently am at, right? That's the decision that you make by going within. Something that totally changes what you've been doing day to day. The bigger the challenge in your life, in this life, the greater the reward will be. Financially, freedom is such a huge reward because it allows us to have more freedom and power in every other area of our lives. The key here is knowing that 90% of all financial success has to do with the shifts we're making on our inner world, and only 10% from the decisions and inspired actions in our outer world. Becoming a money magnet is an inner trip. And so if you're not financially free within 10 years from today, there's no one to point the finger at but oneself. Freedom is truly our choice every day. The decision is to liberate ourselves for the betterment of everyone in our lives. By taking on this commitment to ourselves, we will attract real financial empowerment as we become 100% responsible for who we are and what we become. We realize how enjoyable it is to step into total integrity with ourselves. This commitment is the foundation of a powerful manifesting money magnet. This is the person who is willing to receive the greatest wealth, the most expansive healing energy, and the deepest love one could ever discover along the way. And everybody on this planet that isn't wishes to be abundantly well off. And you look at it from two perspectives, ego mind or heart mind. When you let go of the ego mind, the heart mind kicks in. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't seem difficult. Things appear. They come in. You genuinely communicate with the universe. You tell the universe exactly what you want in finite detail, much as you can know. And then you just let it go. You develop a great confidence, faith, and trust in oneself and the universe. It's a matter of fact. It's not arrogance or, remember, this isn't ego mind. This is heart-mindedness. And you create it. And it's a choice. When we simply and continuously choose thoughts that make us feel financially abundant and free, it manifests from a commitment to feeling abundant within yourself. It's as if you're planting and watering one oak tree seed, which will grow in time and give you great shade and bear fruit within a certain period of time. The commitment is to loving this one small seed instead of being lazy, doing nothing, and letting all the tiny weeds continuously take over your garden. We must choose to vigilantly watch our inner garden with great reverence if we want our financial freedom to grow. And one day on this planet, everybody, and I mean everybody, will be financially free. We must choose to be aware of how we think about ourselves and are treating ourselves energetically when it comes to money. The option is always there, all day long, as to how we are imagining our financial future to be. When we hang out with people who are deep in feelings of financial confidence and peace with money, we seem to transfer of this connection via osmosis. Each time we think about money, it is a crucial investment in what manifests for us financially tomorrow. There is such a powerful manifesting force within every one of us. And once we respect it, own its power, financial freedom soon becomes an experience that follows us wherever we go. Does it make any sense to anyone? Does it? As powerful as we are, and of course, sprinkle in a little amnesia. So we're on a rediscovering course. Why wouldn't we all be abundantly wealthy and financially satisfied? Does it make any sense that only a few are? And even that, are they really? When I hear someone in discussion tell me, you know, I don't need that much money to be happy. Most of the money that I have will help humanity. That tells you where that's coming from, right? Tells you it's coming from the heart-mind. With no fear. No second thoughts. When diving into the intention of turning yourself into a money magnet, there are several dimensions within to understand. The first is that becoming a magnet for money is not all about attracting money. You're becoming a magnet for everything you want in your life as well. Financial freedom just happens to be one of those things we all would love to have. The money just flows to those who believe in themselves and their vision of the future that they want to live in. It's when you form the understanding that your every need to be met, that the answer to every problem, and abundance on every level to grow spiritually. We are not living by human laws. We look at miracles and see them take place. Hold ever before us the thought of prosperity and abundance, and know that doing so sets in motion forces that will bring it into being. Alinketi. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. What is your karma? Do you believe in karma? If so, what karma are you still carrying? What hard or heavy beliefs, energies, and feelings do you need to let go of to feel ridiculously free? I mean, totally weightless, just like your sky-like real nature. You can find out what your karma is by simply sitting silently, doing nothing, and feeling which circus act is playing inside of you. Get really curious, and you'll see it all. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Sunday, March 12th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. And stay in deep gratitude at all times. And you'll experience a magnificent shift. And you'll never want to go back.